Hello there, good day. So we are going to have our discussion for today. Alright, so our topic is about advanced Excel processing that includes both Excel and Google Sheets. Okay, so let's have theories first. Now, for our objectives, by the way, we are going to explore the commonly used functions in Excel. It's already there in your module. The second is we are going also to explore the concepts and basic functions in the Google Sheets that's online, one of the products of the Google or the Google Docs. And then the third one is we are going to distinguish the differences between Excel and Google Sheet. Right? So now, by the way, these are the common functions, but we have a lot of functions in Excel class and it's free. Okay, so what do you think is the difference between count if, average and average if, and sum if? Yes, you heard that right. The difference is that you can set criteria or criterion on the functions with if. Okay, so we are going to have the demonstration later. Now, this is the common syntax. Okay, you're going to have the function. Like for example, if it's average, then you can have the average here and then the range if there is no if in the function. However, if there is an if in the function, like for example, average if, you will have to have the range. Remember, you have to have the colon in between and then comma, and then you are going to set the criteria. Okay, for that example. Okay, now what do those words mean? Like for example, range. Okay, so those are the cells where the counting, or it depends upon the functions you're going to have. Okay, criteria is the label or value that determines that is to be counted if it's in counting. Okay, so again, it depends upon the functions. Okay, so I think that would be just for the theory. Now let's proceed with the demonstration. Okay, so we are going to have the demonstration. Let's have first the sum function. Now, for example, we are going to have, assuming that you'll be going to school and then you will have your baon per day, like say for example 100 for Monday, and then you will have 150 for Tuesday, and then let's just autofill that until say Friday. Okay. Now, let's assume we are going to have the sum function. Now, the sum is, in Excel, you need to have an equal sign and then the function. Remember that Excel is not case sensitive. You can have it lowercase or you can have it in uppercase. It will not matter as long as the function is correct or the spelling is correct. Okay. Now, to have your function is equal to sum, because we are going to get the total of these values, and then hit enter. Okay. So you can have the formatting. You can have it there. You can explore. All right. So yes, that's the sum. Now, what is the difference between sum if? Sum if is that you are going to set the criterion, okay? Again, the same thing. You need to have your sum, but this time there is an if, okay? Now, what's good thing in Excel is that it will give you an idea on what is the next to be done in the parameter. Okay, now it says range, so you are going to get the range here, and then after that you need to have comma, and then you need to have the criteria. Now, for example, I want to get the total of the baon, which is, for example, say greater than 200 or greater than or equal. All right. So, for example, in that one, okay, it gives us a total of 750. Why do you think it's 750? Because, okay, if we are going to total this one, okay, now this one, if we are going to total this, yes, that's correct. Okay, it gives us 750 because I set the condition that is greater than or equal to 200. Okay, so that is sum if. Now, if we are going to proceed to average, for example, now what is average? Okay, given these values, if I am going to get the average, okay, let's say, how much is my baon in average? Okay, so with these values, your baon in a day, on average, is 200 pesos. Okay, so that's average. Okay, what if it's average if? Okay, again, I have to set a criterion, okay, with this range, for example. Okay, and then the Excel will tell me, okay, what is your criteria? Okay, I will be getting the average of the values. For example, let's say less than or equal to, say, less than or equal to 250. Okay, for example. Okay, and then I am going to close these parameter. Okay, so what it does, it gives me 175. Why it gives me 175? Because if I'm going to get the average of less than or, or this one, because it's less than or equal to 250, let's check if yes. Okay, that's correct. Okay, so again, the difference between the function with the if and non-if is that we are going to set a criteria. Now, for example, if you will proceed to, okay, let's discard this stuff. Okay, now for example, if you're going to go to, let's say, string, okay, for example, if it's yes, if it's no, yes, if it's no, if it's 1, 2. Now, let's also try to explore the functions on count, okay. Actually, there are variants of count function class, okay. Now, for the purpose of the demonstration is that okay, for the purpose of demonstration, let's try to explore these type. Now, what is count? Okay, for example, in count class, if I am going to get these one, okay, what is the result that gives me is that it's only 3 because count functions, the count function class, what it counts there is that numerical, just the values, okay, not text. But if you want to count the text, you could have it count A, okay, for example. Okay, so for example, if I am going to have the count A with this range, over this range here, what does it give me is that 7 because it's, yes, it includes the text, this one, and including these numbers, right? Now, what is count? Yes, it counts. When you say count, it gives me the it gives the result on the values of these data. Now, what if it's count A? That includes the characters or the string and then the values here. Now, what if, ma'am, if it's count if? Now, let us try to check what will happen if it's count if. Okay, count if, we're going to tell here, okay, what is the range? Okay, and then let's have the comma. Okay, so what is our criteria? We will say, okay, I only wanted to count the yes. Okay, so for example, if it's a survey, okay, oh, that's correct. We only have 2 yeses here on our data. Alright, so again, those are the basic functions, the basic or common functions that we've used in Excel. But take note that there are a lot of functions for Excel that is used or that are used in data analysis and a lot more. Okay, so let's try also to explore in Google Sheets class. Okay, for Google Sheets, you are going to click on this one. It's online, okay? So let's just go to Google Sheets. Now, I'm going to try to explore the interface of Google Sheet. This is the interface of Google Sheet. Now, let's try to explore on the common functions that we have done in Microsoft Excel with the Google Sheets. Now, what do you think is the difference? The main difference between the two is that this is online. You can auto-save this, okay? So, you can have your files wherever you go because this is very portable and this is free class by Google. Okay, now let's try to have those examples. Now let's say, okay, so let's have the average. For example, in your math, in your first grading you got 100, and then in the second grading you got 97, and then maybe you got 76 in the third grading, and then you got 87 in the fourth grading. You want to get the average of those grade. Okay, so here in the Google Sheets, these are the suggestions. Okay, you just can populate it, you can just choose. Okay, in the case we are going to make use of the average. Okay, and then I will just highlight it. Okay, so Viola, you got 90 as your average grade given those grades. Okay, now, mom, what if it's average? If, okay, so the same with the Excel, it will give us the criteria and then the range. Okay, now, if I want this range and then just comma, I will just tell here, oh, if it's greater than, okay, for example, I will have it greater than. I want to check my average when you say greater than, say, 80, for example. Okay, now what it does, it give me is 94 point this one. Okay, you can have this one here, you can explore class on. Yes, basically it's just similar to Excel. Okay, again, yes. Okay, so now, why is it 94.67? Because if we are going to get the average of those values, okay, because it says greater than 80, right? So we can get the average of this one and this one. Let's check. Yes. So basically, it has the same result. Okay, so that's the average. Now, what if it's count? Let's say, for example, the same with Excel. Okay, technically, it's really the same with Excel. Okay, now, for the purpose of demonstration, let's have the count if. Now, let's count, say, satisfied. If you're going to have a business, and then you say satisfied customer, what else? Satisfied, not, and then satisfied customer, for example. Okay, the same with the Excel, it also has autocomplete feature wherein you're not yet done typing it all, but the Google Sheet will tell you what is the thing. So for example, with this one, we are going to count, say, if it's okay. Now let's say count A. All right. Now, so let's say count A. We are going to count this one range. How many characters, or what are the options for these one, or how many are there on these cells? So we have 4. Now, let's try to count if. Now, how many, for example, it's a long list. Okay. So for the purpose of demonstration, kay gamay lang man siya. What if daghan siya, class? Count if. Okay. And then the customers rather that are satisfied with your business. Let us check on that. Okay. Okay. Now when you count that, oh, we only have 2 among the list. Okay. So again, those are the differences among the functions, and then that is a difference rather on the function with if and without if. Okay. And try to explore Google Sheet, class. It is highly recommended, especially on this setting today. Okay, so again, very much. Okay, that ends with our discussion. Thank you very much for your time. See you next time, class. Keep safe and God bless. Goodbye.